In a peaceful countryside, far away from the noise and rush of the city, there lived a small and gentle mouse. He had a tiny home under the roots of an old tree. Around him were green fields, fresh air, and the soft songs of birds. Every morning the sun rose slowly over the hills, and every night the stars shined brightly in the quiet sky. The country mouse lived a simple life. He ate grains, seeds, and whatever little food he could find nearby. It wasn't much, but he was content. His heart was light and his days were calm. One bright afternoon, something unusual happened. A visitor arrived. It was his cousin, the city mouse. The country mouse had not seen him in a long time. He rushed forward with joy. "Cousin, you're here," he said happily. The city mouse smiled, brushing off a bit of dust from his shiny fur. He looked different, sleek, confident, and full of energy. "My dear cousin," the city mouse said, "it has been too long." The country mouse warmly welcomed him into his small burrow. "I don't have much," he said honestly, "but whatever I have, I will gladly share with you." He brought out his best food, some dry grains, a few nuts, and small roots he had saved. "Please," he said with a smile. The city mouse looked at the food. He tried to hide his disappointment. Slowly he took a bite. He chewed and forced a polite smile. "This is very natural," he said carefully. The country mouse nodded happily. "Yes. It's simple, but it keeps me full." The city mouse couldn't help but laugh softly. "Oh, cousin, you deserve so much better than this." The country mouse looked confused. "What do you mean?" "In the city," the city mouse said proudly, "we dine like kings. There are grand houses filled with delicious food, cheese, cakes, bread, fruits, more than you can imagine." The country mouse's eyes widened. "Really?" "Of course," said the city mouse. "Why live on dry grains when you can enjoy the finest food every day? Come with me. I'll show you what real living looks like." The country mouse hesitated for a moment. He looked around at his peaceful home. But curiosity began to grow inside him. Finally he smiled. "All right, I will come with you." The next morning, they began their journey to the city. As they traveled, the scenery slowly changed. The green fields disappeared, replaced by busy roads and tall buildings. The air became heavy. Strange noises filled the surroundings, honking, shouting, footsteps everywhere. The country mouse stayed close to his cousin, feeling both amazed and nervous. "This place is so different," he whispered. The city mouse grinned. "You'll get used to it." Soon, they reached a large and beautiful house. "Here we are," said the city mouse. They quietly slipped inside through a small crack in the wall. Inside, the country mouse was stunned. The house was enormous. Everything was shiny and grand. And then he saw it. A huge dining table, covered with food. Cheese, cakes, bread, fruits, more food than he had ever seen in his entire life. His eyes sparkled with excitement. "Cousin, this is incredible." The city mouse laughed. "I told you." They quickly climbed onto the table. "Go ahead," said the city mouse. "Enjoy." The country mouse picked up a piece of cheese. He took a bite, and his face lit up. "This is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted." He tried cake, then bread, then fruit. For a moment he forgot everything else. He was completely lost in the joy of eating. But suddenly, bang! A loud noise echoed through the room. The door burst open. Footsteps approached. "Run!" shouted the city mouse. In an instant, both mice jumped off the table and ran for cover. The country mouse's heart pounded wildly. He hid behind a curtain, shaking with fear. A human entered the room, looked around, and then left. Silence returned. Slowly the mice came out. "It's okay now," said the city mouse calmly. The country mouse was still trembling. That was terrifying. "Oh, don't worry," said the city mouse. "It happens sometimes." "Sometimes," the country mouse repeated nervously. But the delicious food was still there. And slowly, hunger pulled him back. He took another bite. Then suddenly, meow. A cat leaped onto the table, its eyes sharp and alert. The country mouse froze in fear. "Run!" shouted the city mouse again. They dashed across the table, jumped down, and squeezed into a tiny hole in the wall. The cat's paw nearly caught them. Inside the hole, the country mouse was shaking uncontrollably. His breathing was fast. His eyes were filled with fear. After a long silence, he spoke softly. "Cousin, do you live like this every day?" The city mouse sighed. "But you get used to it. And look at all this amazing food." The country mouse didn't reply. That night, he couldn't sleep. Every sound made him jump. Every shadow felt dangerous. The joy of delicious food was gone, replaced by fear and worry. By morning, he had made his decision. "Cousin," he said gently, "thank you for bringing me here and showing me your life." The city mouse smiled. "So, you finally understand how wonderful it is?" The country mouse shook his head slowly. "The food is wonderful, but the life is not." The city mouse looked surprised. "What do you mean?" The country mouse took a deep breath. "I may not have cakes and cheese in the countryside, but I have peace." He continued softly, "I can eat my simple food without fear. I can sleep without danger. I can live happily without always running for my life." The city mouse said nothing. The country mouse smiled kindly. "I would rather have a simple life with peace than a rich life filled with fear." And with that, he turned and began his journey back home. Back to the green fields. Back to the gentle breeze. Back to a life that was quiet, simple, and safe. As he reached his small burrow once again, he felt something warm in his heart. Happiness. True happiness. And from that day on, he never wished for the city again. Moral of the story. Backhand index pointing right, a simple life with peace is better than a rich life full of fear.